Paul, you still remember the 3 zeros, don't you? Zero poverty, zero unemployment, and zero net carbon emission. So these are the 3 zero. That's what I have defined for myself. That's the world that I would like to be involved with and make it happen. It's my choice, defining it, and act for it, work for it, so that you can make it happen. And probably you will have your zeros too, whichever way you define, but you have to define something. This is the kind of world that I want. This is your choice. You don't have to consult to make a decision. Of course, you need advice, you need consultation, but decision is yours. Create that world that you want. Well, defining something is imagination. You can do it. It's a very exciting experience, but at the same time, it's easier part of the whole job. Then you have to make it work, make it happen. How do you make it happen? How do you make zero poverty make it happen? How do you make zero unemployment make it happen? How do you make the zero net carbon emission make it happen? And I mentioned something that we are struggling against a very powerful wave of wealth concentration. So when all the wealth is sucked in one direction, and then you want to create a world with zero poverty and etc., that makes it extra difficult, how to make it happen. You must have heard many times our goal is something globally, we say that repeatedly, that nobody to be left behind. That's a great goal, nobody to be left behind. And we all believe in it. And I try to point out the system that we built around us and we participate in every day, it is a system which is designed to leave people behind. And that's what the wealth concentration is all about, keeping people behind. So we are struggling against a big machine which is designed to leave people behind, and we are saying we want to do something not to leave anybody behind. That's a big mismatch. So we have to work on the system, on the machine itself. So that machine has to change its habit of leaving people behind and sucking up all the wealth to the top. How do you do that? So that's what I was trying to see and struggling with it. And I came up with some things, one after another. When you look at things at a very close range, it's not as difficult as you think when you read about it, when you hear about it. Oh, it's so difficult. But you come close to it, it looks like fairly easy. It's not as difficult. After all, we are dealing with human beings. It's not something they don't have any skill, they don't have any energy to participate in your effort. So that's what I was trying to see if I can make little efforts and do that. And I got excited. Yes, it works. And in the process, I created lots of such enterprises that I thought could be done to address those issues. Then I started seeing something which I never thought before. The system we built has a major flaw. I struggled with two major flaws, and that's what I wanted to share with you. Probably you may look into it yourself. One flaw is in the whole system, which we call a capitalist system, the basic assumption behind the whole system is every human being is driven by self-interest. This is part of the whole system. Every human being, you, me, and everybody, is driven by self-interest. And there is nothing else. So we keep on repeating that thing, self-interest-driven economy, and self-interest translates into greediness, it becomes extra greediness, and everything else. Forget about everybody else. What struck me, this is a very narrow interpretation of a human being. Human beings are not about all selfishness. Human being is a combination, at least, of selfishness and selflessness. That selflessness is missed out. And why? The moment I introduce it, suddenly it looks like it's a completely different world. And that's the kind of thing I was doing without knowing what I was doing, creating business to solve problem without any intention of making money for myself. So what did I do? I dismissed one basic feature of the capitalist system, making money, making profit. I dismissed it in my work and created business to solve problem, not create a business to make money for myself. So that is a departure I saw. And then I raised a lot of debate about it. People start arguing against it. So I tried to give it a name so that people understand what I say. I call it social business. And define it by saying it's a non-dividend company to solve human problems. It's a company, it's a business. We sell a service or sell a product just like any business does, but for a purpose different from the other kind of business. The purpose is very clear. We want to solve people's problem. Suddenly, people question that because they cannot imagine how a person who is supposed to be self-interest-driven person, personal interest-driven person, can do something for interest of other people. I said, because every person has that aspect too. So any human being can do both kinds of business. Business to make money, business to solve problems. The moment you introduce that part of human being, whole capitalist system appears completely different. Suddenly, same human being can do both things. It's up your choice. How much of you do this, how much of you do of the social business. Why social business is important in the context of what I said about the wealth concentration? It's important. The moment you come into social business, there is no sucking the wealth to the top because nobody's taking any money from it as a profit. So all social business works against the concentration because if I don't take any money, there is no question of me getting wealthier and wealthier. So that is a kind of a counter force that we immediately introduce in the system and make it happen. And it relates to many other issues, which I'll postpone for a while. And then I get into another problem. This is interesting for you also. Both are interesting for you, not just one. When I was doing the microcredit, I started lending money to poor people, particularly poor women. They're not only poor, they're all from rural areas of Bangladesh when I started. They are totally illiterate, cannot read, cannot write, nothing. But it started there. But we wanted to make sure that children do not repeat the same fate as their parents of remaining illiterate. So we make all our efforts through our institution, which we call Grameen Bank, to make sure all the children of Grameen families go to school and continue in this education system. We gave them scholarships, we gave them education loans, and so on. There is one person who is attending today, is one of those young people who her mother was a Grameen Bank borrower, and we helped her mother to send her to school, and later she got scholarships and so on, got to good college with a scholarship. Then she got a scholarship to go abroad in the United States. She got her degree in the United States. Today she is appearing here. Can you please stand up? Where are you? Yeah. Let's give a big applause for her. Thank you. So that's how she's here, but many other people are many other places who came from the same families or poor families, but given the education, they continue to go up. But others who finished, these are hundreds of thousands of young people, millions of young people, they keep on complaining. What is the use of having education? There's no job. When it kind of hit my heart, that is, what is the meaning of education? There is no job. I thought for a while, and I started responding to that. I said, why do you look for a job? Why are you looking for a job? They got very puzzled. Everybody looks for a job. What's wrong with it? They didn't say that. Then I said, forget about job. Job is absolutely wrong idea. This should have ended long before in the previous century. But somehow still that wrong idea has continued to come to Bangladesh and got you worried about it. The real thing should be you tell yourself again and again that I'm not a job seeker, I'm a job creator. And act like a job creator, think like a job creator, so that you can feel big, you can feel strong. If you're looking for a job, you feel small because you're at the mercy of other people. You are an entrepreneur, that's what you are. Then I started telling them, look, your mother, 20 years back, 30 years back, she had the courage to go to the bank to say that I want to join your program. I want to borrow money from you. And she made that decision and took a loan after a long debate and this kind of hesitation, should I or shouldn't I? She took the loan, $30, $40. And with that money, she didn't start applying for jobs. She started a business, very tiny little business. And that was her beginning. And year after year, she took more loans, paid up one loan, bought another loan. And she grew, and along the way, you are born. You are coming from a family which already has a tradition of entrepreneurship. If your illiterate mother with a $30 loan can become an entrepreneur, what's wrong with your education system? They completely wiped off your idea that you can be an entrepreneur. So why don't you just forget about your education, the one that given the wrong thinking in your head that you have to find a job for somebody, to work for somebody else. Why don't you go and learn from your mother and become an entrepreneur? So what we do, we create social business, social venture capital, ask the young people to come up with business ideas, and we become partner with them. So today, thousands and thousands of all these young people come with business ideas, and we keep on investing in their businesses and make them become entrepreneurs so that they forget about seeking a job. In general, I keep saying, this is another flaw of the capitalist system. They made us into thinking that only way we can survive is to have a job. I said, job was never in our history, ever since we are on this planet. When we were in the caves, we are not sending job applications. From cave number 5 to cave number 10, do you have a job for me? I'm unemployed. The concept of unemployment didn't exist because there is no reason why any young person with full of energy, full of creativity, at the peak of his and her creativity, sitting idle, doing nothing, explaining that I am unemployed, so I'm not supposed to work. Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense to me why anybody should sit idle. As if somebody has put a spell on this person, almost like a Harry Potter story, put a spell. There is the only place that the spell comes from is our idea, is our concept that I am supposed to be sitting idle because nobody is giving me a job. Why don't you go and do something? Because system is designed for seeking job, not for being entrepreneur. I say all human beings are born as entrepreneurs. Human beings are not born to work for somebody else. The moment you introduce this concept, suppose we all become entrepreneurs, will there be wealth concentration left? What is your guess? It won't. Because wealth will come to me, will come to you, will come to everybody because we are entrepreneurs. Today, as job seekers, as working for somebody, what did we become? We became mercenaries for other people to make money through us. We don't make money, they make the money. And we pass on the money to them, and they become multi-billionaires and big people, and we complain all the wealth is going there. Who is helping them? We help them. They themselves cannot get to all this wealth because there's no mechanism. So if we become entrepreneurs, suddenly all the problem starts resolving. So ask yourself before you leave Bogota, would you be an entrepreneur or be a job seeker? Tell your friends, tell your brothers and sisters that there are two options. You can be a job seeker or you can be an entrepreneur. And the moment you have these options, many will go for become entrepreneurs, provided we can create financial system to go with it. Once you get into it, financial system has to come around to support it so that you can go into it. So with 3 zeros, today it looks like impossible thing because of the system that we created made it impossible. So as I was explaining, all impossibles has to become possible. That's what the human beings are all about. That's what you are all about, making impossible possible. Don't settle for little things. Go for big things because you are created for big things. Don't compromise yourself. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Professor Yunus, they have a surprise for you.
Okay, good.
Okay, as you
I
know,
love surprises.
Yes, but before we do the surprise and welcome it, we have one person who is one of the best self-made social media men in your generation, you know. And he see Professor Yunus 2 years ago and last year, and his only wish was to be on stage with you and make a contribution with you. So,
What a wish.
Welcome, Jerome.
Hey, Jerome, how are you?
Woo! Hey, make a